Well, it's a historic move. The U.S. Soccer Federation has decided to pay its men and women teams equally. The new pay deals will see both the U.S. men's and women's soccer teams get equal payment for the upcoming FIFA World Cup. U.S. Soccer Federation president has said that this development has the potential to change how international soccer and sports do business. Pay parity, not just in sports, but across industries, has long been debated. Will this move set the bar for sweeping changes in the sports industry? Does it have the potential to spill over to other industries as well? That's the big focus at this point in time that we will focus on. We've got our guests who are joining us at this point. Mamta Kharab, former captain of the Indian women's hockey team. Kunj Yadav, educationist and athlete as well. Nisha Jamwal, who's a celebrity columnist as well. All are joining me on the show today. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. Let me first come to you, Kunj Yadav. This is, of course, while it is a historic move, the question now arises as to whether this has the potential to become that trigger point, to become that benchmark for, it to spill over into other parts in the community across industries.
It's a great move, early morning when I came to know that this step has been taken, it's such a good news for the sports industry. I myself an athlete, and believe me, it should be a skilled base, not gender-based payments. And the movement in itself is a turning point for entire industry, not even sports, but as well as, working for all kind of working women, because it's an equal effort. It's not that only, a gender equality is very important for everything. And here, after this movement, it really makes sense for, it gives zeal to work more towards the game, towards anything in life, if there is potential given to the females.
Yes, absolutely. Kunj Yadav, in fact, the other question that I had for you specifically is because, when we are asking for this kind of changes across the board, in India, if we talk about, it begins at a very nascent stage, because if we look at schools, because I remember one incident where in one well-known school, the football team of the girls received a smaller trophy than the football team of the boys, who received a much bigger trophy, for the winners. Now, at that level, if this mindset is built in, how do we expect the changes to come in at much higher levels?
So that's what these kind of steps, the society needs to absorb that it is about the skills, it is about the efforts required. It's has nothing to do with the gender, and you need to support it, and slowly, steadily, everything will be absorbed in the society in itself. And that shows the mental status of the society, that, when you come up with a particular, event or anything. For example, this particular event you're talking about, they have declared that US going to be, support them and give them equal payment. It's that step that society eventually gonna accept everywhere in the world. It's not just one area, it should be taken by everyone. Even for for that matter, if you talk about Indian society, when it comes to the payment skills of particular job, then there should be no difference between the payment according to the gender. It should be exactly with the skill. It should be skill based. It should not be according to gender.
Yes. Yes, absolutely, Kunj. Completely agree with you on several of the points that you mentioned there. Let me also bring in Nisha Jamwal as well, who's with us. Hi, Nisha. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Your perspective here, because, this is, of course, the trigger has been the sports industry. But if we look at even other industries, Bollywood, for example, or the cinema industry overall, this has been highly debated. We've heard so many stories about, well-known female actors who walk out of films because they're not getting the same pay as their male counterparts, and which is fair enough.
I actually see a change. I think, if I'm not wrong, Deepika Padukone had brought it up, and I agree with you very animatedly that it's time that we looked at women and men as equals, wherein you see a lot of women who have more aptitude than men being paid less in not only Bollywood, but in all fields, even in the corporate world. This stepmotherly treatment given to females has to change, not only internationally, but in India, not only with the sports world, but with Bollywood, with journalism. I'm a columnist as well. So even in terms of writers, in terms of actors, in terms of even blue collar workers. When there is you also know that there are female taxi drivers today. There are women going to space. There are women breaking the glass ceiling, breaking boundaries all over the world. So I think this sports movement where women are insisting on equal payment, equal sizes of trophies, it's horrifying to realize that the trophy size also would be less. So this is like a direct, it's like a direct insult, which says that, hey, there's something less about you. And why in an age where women are actually, scoring way above men in many fields. So I apologize for being so animated, but I feel very strongly about the fact that a game changer in any economy is women. Yes. You bring more women into the workforce, the economy changes, the GDP changes, and that can only happen if women are incentivized and not made to feel like, the second-class citizens of a country.
Yes, absolutely, Nisha. In fact, talking specifically about the cinema industry as well, very often the argument that gets put forth is that, if we look at a film which has, somebody, say a Khan on the, frontlining the film, it sells for much more than a film with, say, a female actor, even though she may be at the top of her field. And that is why this pay parity is there. But how do you then counter such kind of arguments?
Well, I think, actors who have a voice, who are fairly unfiltered, like Kangana, Deepika, Priyanka Chopra, who's made an international foray, are the game changers. People like you and me speaking about it, bringing it to the forefront, are the game changers. There are lots of people taking that easy way out and saying, hey, it's okay, I don't want to get into, the eye of the storm. But I think it's time to speak up. And like you so correctly said, more people out there coming out, speaking, making a point of it, insisting on an equal pay. Because there are actors now who actually create such a noise in the box office that they don't even need a male lead. Yes. So you see a lot of films now where women are leading the entire film. They're carrying the entire film on their shoulders. And you have a newcomer male, just as, playing second fiddle. So why should that woman not demand and command the same billing as, say, a Shah Rukh Khan or a Salman Khan? And I think, I think Shah Rukh himself is a feminist. He's spoken about this in the past. So there are even men coming out and supporting women and saying, women need to be paid as much as we are. There are those there are those vociferous new age men who support women as well and who support feminism.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I do agree with you that there has been, quite a bit of change as far as cinema is concerned. Of course, miles to go at this point, but still, obviously, a step in the right direction. But Kunj, coming back to you, similarly in sports, once again, the same question sort of gets put forth, whether it's all the male sports players usually tend to get more, whether it's their ad endorsements, whether it is the prize fee money, all of that. Now, that again boils down to the fact that, a men's finals tennis match would get more viewers rather than a female's final tennis match. So that change also has to come in from we as a people.
Yeah, of course. We need to understand one thing, that when sports, the Indian government or whatever governments are not paying the anyways very high pricing, and then there is a lot of competition, there is a lot of efforts, and then a female, when a female has to decide, like for me also, when I wanted to go and play Olympics, so I had my own struggle, this pay scale, and then they tag you with a thing that okay, how much you gonna make it, and what will be your future. These questions are always tagged in when you are trying to become anything in athletics, and now the time has changed, but even for now, it's more like a male dominating society. That's what I can exactly say. And it still, our society really needs to be updated with the norms, it really needs to change themselves and upgrade themselves. See, every society is changing. It's not that females are not these days, see Sania Mirza, and see, we can literally count a few females, Jwala Bhatta, and a lot of other females who are doing great, and they have done turnaround things in sports. But then also the pay scale is not same as men. The reason behind is only the society can actually answer on it. But I really request our government also to look onto this matter and really bring up that thing, so that we get the push to support our kids and generation to get into the same line. And females should be supported by the government in every which way.
Yes.
However, industry is doing good, but then also you need support of many people. Females are still struggling with the support system of surroundings. When you are married, then you need your support from your family, parents, and everything. So similar ways, I think society should accept it and really support females out there, and it should be taken equally. It should not be judged because of the gender. It should be taken care with equality, you can say, in every which manner.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, that is an important point that you mentioned as well. But Nisha, this move that we've seen here comes as well.
I'm sorry, I lost the last part. Does India have the power to also go this way?
Yes.
Is that your question?
Yes.
Yes, I absolutely think India has the power to go even further, because the way, India is where the feminine force, the force of Devi, has been worshipped and celebrated. And as we see women going forward, I see a resurgence of that same respect and celebration of women. I see women in all fields of work. I see somebody like Revati starting a female taxi service in Bombay. I see women in villages creating NGOs. So I definitely think, ma'am, that India has the power to actually supersede and triumph on this movement. And not only in sports, but as pilots. You see so many female pilots in our... in fact, I think
and we see more and more such sweeping changes coming in, not just across the world, but in India as well.